Are we in? Are we on? Are we on? Any finger shake? All right, the Reds. It is Talking Reds. Talking Reds after Liverpool won in the San Siro last night against Inter Milan. I nearly said dominated, but I think that's probably taking things a little bit too far. It was a tough game for the Reds, particularly first half and start of the second half. But then some substitutions swung at Liverpool's way. Bobby Firmino, we all love a Bobby Firmino goal. He glanced in a beautiful header, and then Mo Salah continued his scoring record in Europe. And the Reds are 2-0 up at half-time in this tie. And a lot of people are saying it's job done. But yeah, it was everything you want in the end. But the way it started, and they're hitting the bar, and, you know, Konate's doing blocks, and, you know, they were getting down both sides and really testing our fullbacks. They gave us a proper game, didn't they?
Yeah, it felt like a game of two parts. The second part being once we'd made changes. I mean, everyone sort of seems to be surprised that Inter had given it a good go and had troubled us as the knockout stages of the Champions League. Like, you know, it's not some biffs in Burnley or, you know, whatever. It's you know, these are the big ties and the big teams, and I think we're just so used to Jurgen Klopp's side doing things away in Europe now that you know, a 2-0 win has now become the 0-0 win away at home in Europe, hasn't it? Like, I was trying to think about the first sort of 26 years of my life. I was trying to think of how many big European away games that were memorable in those first 26 years, and then how many afterwards when Jurgen Klopp comes in, that suddenly this one's probably not in Jurgen's top 5, but it's winning 2-0 at the San Siro, and it's winning for the second time, and it's, you know, the game's not done by any stretch, but it means you're going into Anfield, one goal, and it settles nerves, and we can hopefully enjoy ourselves. But look, Inter quite impressed me at the beginning. Yeah. First 20, 25, especially, you could see. I mean, we know our game plan. It's to press high up the pitch. It's to, you know, to hunt them down in packs, and we were trying to do that, and they were able to break the press, weren't they? And I didn't expect that from them. I think just what you see is, you know, it is an age inside, isn't it? When you go through the list of players, I was going, he's old. There's substitutes, old. You know, they're bringing on Darmain and Alexis Sanchez and players like Alberts. That. Yeah, lots of Alberts, as you say. Yeah, it takes one to know one, doesn't it? And you know, in contrast to that, you look at what Liverpool bring on, and there's, you know, it's vibrant and it's exciting, and it's, you know, and it lifts Liverpool to another level. Yeah,
Perisic and Dumfries were causing Liverpool some problems, weren't they? And then, you know, the different midfield, the three substitutions seemed to really swing it for Liverpool. And I know, you know, it was really good to see as well, sort of their heads go down as well. Like, they were like, you know, you could see them all looking at each other going like, fucking hell, you know, we've played quite well here, and we've ended up getting beaten. You know, not many sides go and do that to them. I think it's only the 4th defeat at the San Siro in 37 games, all comps, and it's the first by 2 goals as well. And obviously it's worth saying that Liverpool have gone there and beat both AC and Inter in the same season. Now, Tottenham did that, but, you know, that was a while ago. And I think that's it. I think only Liverpool and Tottenham have gone and done it in European competition like that. Also as well, Elliott, now the youngest player to play, or the youngest player to start for Liverpool in a Champions League game. I thought there was like real faith in doing that. I'm not sure it completely worked, if I'm being honest with you. Like, there was some nice touches from him, but certainly by the second half when he got taken off, it was no surprise that he got taken off. No, not having a pop at all at him. But the faith to throw him in, this stage of the competition, San Siro, Inter Milan away, all of that, you know, shows you how highly he rates him, given the options he has.
Yeah, massively. And, you know, that's... We know the calibre of player that we've got in Harvey Elliott right now, and we know that, or to be honest, we're unsure of what the ceiling is, because it could be anything with him. But at that age, to start in that tie, you know, 4 years after he goes to the Kiev final as a fan, there was some pictures we stuck up on the social media. I love all that. I love a little story like that. It's brilliant. I think you're right. I think it probably looking back, it didn't work. It felt like Fabinho was doing a lot of the work in midfield himself at times. And, you know, like you say, there was nice little touches. There was, you know, I don't think it helped that Salah wasn't on it in the first half an hour, really. I think that made it all looked a bit disjointed. Liverpool, I didn't think played terribly. I thought they played quite well in the first half. I just think that it was like the final ball, or it was the final moment, or, you know, it was just like
There was
it was
a chance
almost
to Sadio, wasn't there?
Yes.
That he had it over. He probably should have done a little bit better with. But as you said before, they were very front foot though. You know, like they were trying to play us at our own game. They were filling the box up. Yeah, and to be fair, they said before the game they were going to do that.
Yeah.
But you know, you've heard sides say that before, and I think you get spoiled a little bit, don't you, by how good we are, and you think, oh yeah, I've heard this before. I was doing the same as you as well. I was looking at Dzeko and I was saying, well, fucking hell, he's 35
Albert.
now.
Yeah.
Albert, like he wouldn't get a game over here, or you know, all of those things. And it was offside, wasn't it, when he went through and put it in the back of the net? But yeah, they gave us a game. They gave us a game. They really did, and you know, but to admit, like it's the mentality, isn't it, as well? Like Liverpool didn't get down from the fact that, you know, it wasn't going for them. They didn't get down from the fact that it wasn't their greatest performance. They just kept going, and then they scored again from a set piece. Like, we're unbelievable at set pieces. Like it's James Pearce has put in his report this morning a few facts and figures around that. He says it was the 5th success. I'll get it out in a minute. I'll try again. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take 2. The 5th successive game in all competitions in which Liverpool broke the deadlock, courtesy of a set piece. So against Palace, it was Robertson putting one on the plate for Van Dijk. Alexander-Arnold whipped in a free kick for Jota to score against Cardiff. He also provided the corner that led to Jota scoring against Leicester. And Burnley, of course, that, you know, Fabinho's goal comes from Mane flicking on Alexander-Arnold's corner. And then Firmino's goal last night.
Some header, by the way.
It was brilliant header.
Some header.
And also, I always love to get like little detail like this. This is why it's great to sort of, you know, follow the lads that have a little bit of inside track. He says the routine for Firmino's goal had been rehearsed on the training field at Kirby on Tuesday. Nice. The analyst felt the near post of Inter was an area that Liverpool could exploit, and so it proved.
It was the epitome of the perfect near post glancing header, wasn't it? Into the side net as well.
Lovely stuff.
It was gorgeous, and I mean, it's great again that, you know, Firmino's, you know, the forward that a lot of people maybe questioning, talking about his future. Will he get a new contract? What Liverpool do with him next? Where he is in the rankings in terms of Jota is, you know, ahead of him now, and obviously there's a little bit of an injury worry around Jota, so Firmino might get more game time. But you know, comes on, gets a goal. His goals per minute ratio this season is really impressive, and you know, this Liverpool squad depth in general is just outrageous. Are you going to talk about Firmino now? I
was just going to say that he's got 8 goals for this season. He only got 9 all of last season. 12 the season before, 16 the season before. The golden period for Firmino was 17-18 when he got 27 goals. I don't think many people expect him to sort of score to that level now, and he is sort of emerging now more as, you know, he's backup, isn't he? He's plan B. But, you know, the manager does still turn to him in big games. You know,
some plan B, by the way.
I know.
Because he's completely different to everything else, isn't he? In the way that he, you know, you see him come on, he gets the glancing header. You know, that's a big moment in the game, and just completely changes the game. But then you also see what he does in terms of, you know, we talk about an aging Inter towards the end of the game, and as they tired, we're bringing on Bobby Firmino there to absolutely torture them, not just their back line, but drop into midfield and annoy and harass and hurry them in there as well. So these are brilliant plan Bs, like they should be celebrated.
I like this as well in the Times this morning from Henry Winter, where he was talking about Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. Again, I just think, you know, we're watching a brilliant Liverpool, a brilliant side, a brilliant squad, and a brilliant manager. And sometimes, you know, there's that many hits of brilliance that it's just like, you know, we're good, aren't we? Sound. But, you know, you see little bits and bobs sometimes and you think, oh, yeah. And like he's talking about Alexander-Arnold and Robertson here, saying the strong characters, physically and mentally, experienced Champions League campaigners with 42 and 41 appearances, respectively. Now, there was another stat kicking about this morning that Klopp had won 50 games in the Champions League as a manager, and only 8 managers have done that. And, you know, just when you see things like that, like Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, particularly Alexander-Arnold, you know, I still look at him as like a kid.
He's still like 23, isn't he?
And then, you know, he's played 42 games in the Champions League. He's won the thing. Yeah. And so, you know, like it's that experience and mentality right through the side now that is taking us to places again, you know, where you're getting that excitement and that buzz, thinking we can go somewhere here. We can win the thing. Like some of the reports I read this morning, we're starting to talk like that. You're saying, you know, like when a side goes and does that, wins like that, has got a 2-0 lead now to take back to Anfield. Okay, don't count your chickens. And the manager said, it's only half time and we can't put our feet on the table. But, you know, you're starting to get a little bit of a sniff of St. Petersburg there, I think.
I think as you know, Liverpool Football Club, from the beginning of the tournament, from the moment you play the first game, you're thinking about St. Petersburg, and I think that's something that has set us apart over the years. I think is that we always have it in our mind that no matter whether the side is as good as the side that we've got now, or whether it's a side like in 2005 that manages to do it, we still have this thing of like, you know, somehow there's some magic that will, you know, conjure up, or something will happen for us. And look, There's 2001 vibes to this season. Honestly, there really is. That's how it feels, and I think the League Cup game is just so massive in terms of getting that trophy, and then the whole season is opening up in front of our eyes. We've just beaten Inter there. We've obviously got a decent cup draw in the FA Cup as well. There's just so much excited to be excited by, and like there's not one part of me who's taking any aspect of this for granted based on like last year. I was thinking back to last year, you know the way you get memories on Facebook and stuff?
Oh no, fuck that.
And one of the high points of last season, before of all the madness in the last month of it, one of the high points was when beer gardens opened up and we got to watch the Real Madrid game at Taggy's in the beer garden freezing. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And like, and now, and it was, you know, we got beat and we got put out and it was shit and all of that, but, you know, this season, there's a cup final to look forward to. You know, a lot of lads have just been to, you know, and lads and girls have been to San Siro last night to watch Liverpool. When, you know, for years the 08 San Siro game was talked about as being one of the best European aways, and Torres doing it, and we've just done it twice in the one campaign. It's just there's just so much happening for this side that's to be celebrated and excited about.
Absolutely, and I also like the idea that at some point somewhere someone was saying, "Oh, Liverpool are being figured out now." Well, we all know that, you know, like Liverpool do rely on Robertson and Trent to set up a lot of goals and all that kind of stuff. Well, if they've been figured out, who's figuring them out? Because this season they've now got 26 assists between them in all comps. So still not being figured out. Also Salah, not his greatest game in a red shirt, but he's now on 34 European goals for Liverpool, moving closer to Gerrard's record of 41. That was also a new club record, extending his own club record of scoring in 8 successive European away games.
Gerrard's 41 in all European comps, isn't it? So it's like the UEFA Cup and all of that, and Salah's will all be in the European Cup as well.
Yeah, so it was all good. We should speak to some people who are commenting. Really, we always do on the live ones. We are live right now. Craig will show you some t-shirts in the interim.
Oh yeah, got a new Diogo one into that. And we got a new Alisson one as well, which is like a Adidas style. Into them both.
Comments
nice for the cup final.
There's absolutely loads.
I can't believe we've gone this far, by the way, and not talked about Van Dijk and Konate. They were imperious last night. They were so good. And I think that's one of the things where that 10-15 minute spell where, you know, Inter were getting on top and the crowd were up for it, and, you know, you're always going to have those moments. You're always going to have to sort of weather the storm and get through those. But, you know, you mentioned mentality earlier. There's the mentality, and then there's also the defensive capability of both Konate and Van Dijk, and how they, you know, there was some of the blocks that Konate was throwing in, and some of the, so, you know, just Van Dijk.
He's what, 22?
22, yeah. And, you know, we were talking a little while ago about like looking at Liverpool and going, well, where's the next phase of this squad? Suddenly it's all round your eyes. It's Harvey Elliott starting, it's Konate at the back, it's Jota, you know, it's Diaz coming off the bench. But is have I said something wrong?
No.
You always laugh at me when I say something.
Someone's just asking if you're wearing Crocs.
I'm not wearing Crocs. I wore my sliders.
I just seen him in the car park though, and he did have sliders on.
But yeah, like
wearing Crocs, they were Adidas ones.
But you know, Konate and Van Dijk together, like. Again, we keep talking about like the options we've got at the you know, in the attacking options, because we brought in Diaz and because Harvey Elliott's come back and so on. But you know, the 4 centre backs we've got are unbelievable. Joe Matip doesn't get a sniff of that game last night, but Joe Matip might have been our best player this season so far, or one of them at least.
Which has just reminded me, how have we got this far in the show and not mention when he pats the
Can I reenact it?
pats them all on the head. And they're like going round them all like this. It's on the internet. Go and look it up. It's absolutely brilliant. Hendo gets a massive cob on, seemingly tells him to fuck off, and he's just there with this big tough smile on his face. Superb after the first goal. It was.
But yeah, look, there's the footballers all over the pitch. There's to be excited about, and we mentioned Fabinho earlier. I thought Fabinho was brilliant in that first half. He was really, really good. And Kanate again on a big European night. He likes throwing him in on big games, doesn't he?
I know.
Like madly. I think he played Chelsea. He definitely threw him in against United as well away. But every time he's been thrown in, he's been stood up to be counted for. So.
Some other comments then. Get a new table if we win the League Cup. Probably not. To be honest with you, I mean, I used to try and campaign for one, but I've given up now.
Campaign? I really like the idea.
Internal campaign.
Giving leaflets out around the office. New table.
Any tables, but no, it's not happening. What else have we got? Glad. Blah, 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 blah. Someone asked what Ferdinand was on about. I mean, look, listen, what's Ferdinand ever on about?
What was he saying? I'd tune up. I turned
listen
off.
to him. Yeah.
Jake Humphrey and Rio Ferdinand. I think Robbie Fowler was on it last night as well.
He was, someone says, there's always mention for crisp, and I love it. Dan says, Ed and Jacko, Defo loves a packet of pickled onion space raiders. Hey, there's nothing wrong with them.
Hey, they're brilliant. They're actually great.
I hope you're not saying that
in
a bad way, but the beef flavour's better, to be fair.
I saw Jacko on holidays once.
Did you?
Yeah, in Croatia. And I was looking at him like,
how
do I know this fella? Like, I know him from home. You know that thing where you're like trying to go through your mind to work out who it was? And he played for Man City. No, it didn't go up to him, no. Absolutely not. What would I have said?
All right, lad.
You a
footy player.
You having a good holiday?
That you, yeah.
Is this you?
So,
bye.
in a bit. What else are people saying here? Oh, yeah, Virgil, man of the match. Kanate was brilliant, made up with him. Oh, that's the Anfield Wrap who said that. Shame they took away the away goal rule, says David Chalmers.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because I know Carragher was talking about it the other night.
If we'd had it, Inter probably wouldn't have played like that, would they? Do you know what I mean? Because they wouldn't have had a big goal, would they? Because they might have been worried about conceding the away goal. I mean, they did anyway. But you know what I mean?
I think it still benefits. I still think it benefits the likes of Liverpool and Man City in the long run. It benefits the better teams. Yeah. It allows Liverpool to, well, I mean, Liverpool have gone away in the past and just smoked teams, haven't they? And they can look at it in a different approach now. I don't think they did. I think they still went there and tried to do what they've done to, Roma and Porto and teams like that, where they've just gone and tried to score as many goals as possible. I just still think it'll benefit us in the long run. It's one of those things, though. I don't like it, and I know people don't like change. I know people football fans don't like change, do we? Don't like change to the heritage, and this is how it's always been, and all of that. And I love the away goals rule. I love the madness of it all. I love scraping through. I love it's not for me, but
the maths when you're there going, hang on, what does this mean now? Remember Roma?
I was having a full on breakdown.
Are we all right here?
I was having a full on breakdown in Olympia. I couldn't remember how many goals had been scored, and I couldn't remember what it meant for us. It's like they score a penalty, and you're like, fucking.
The maddest one was Alaves when the final, and McAllister puts that free kick in, it goes in, and then everyone's like, well, have we won? Have we won?
The golden goal. Yeah. And that's not what you want in the moment. You want no, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see when something happens in this tournament where they look at it and go, they would have been through if it hadn't have been, if it had been last season and all of that. But I still think in the long run it benefits Liverpool.
Well, we were supposed to be playing Salzburg, and then there they are, drawing with Bayern.
Did they?
Yeah. Diaz as well is getting some shouts in the comments. Fair to say, he come on and looked the business, didn't he? I mean, I'm having it now. Like this thing that there's a period where you settle in and all that. Bollocks. He's fucked that off, hasn't he? He's not bothering with that.
No, he's not.
He's straight in, and there's definitely a strong argument to say he needs to be starting now. Do you know what I mean? Because he's shown enough, hasn't he?
The build up to this cup final there's going to be madness, because you know, you've got Sadio Mane there, who, you know, we've talked about. He's come back from the AFCON. He's going to come back like, you know, lifted, and he's going to be, you know, he's coming back a champion, and he's going to be banging him in and all of that. And I've said that myself. And then you throw on Diaz, and suddenly just the entire, and it wasn't just him, it was Kate and it was Henderson, both in midfield. Henderson just got a hold of the game, got a grip of the game. Kate oppressed, hurried, whatever. But Diaz, every time he gets the ball, it's like one of those footballers. You're just like, there's anticipation, isn't it? Like, oh, what's he going to do now? It's you sort of see, you can see the South American in him. He is a bit Suarez in the way he sort of like jinks, drops his shoulder, goes past. He's fast, but it's not like, you know, it's not like, no, it's like it's you don't get this analysis on PC Sport. It's not like hits it by someone and like sprint onto it. It's like it's the way he carries the ball is really, really quick, and it's the way that Suarez was able to carry the ball, where Suarez wasn't necessarily the most pacey lad, but he, you know, you couldn't get it off him, and he could take it by boys, and that's exactly what Diaz does. And I'm so excited. He nearly got a goal as well last night, didn't he?
I'm still buzzing off his tackle against Leicester on the edge of their box.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I was like, I'm into this fella. He's throwing big tackles in. He's not arsed. In that game as well, I think he like someone like bodies him, knocks him over, and he just jumped up and was just like, come on. I
also think off the back of, you know, and
likes the Adidas as well.
Does he?
Round in an Adidas coat.
He wore that. Well, he's sponsored by them, but he had a hoodie, and I can't find it anywhere online. I've been trying to get it.
You've not done the Google image search thing?
Oh,
because I found
2022. You've got it by the balls, don't you?
I found his coat.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't get it though in the end, but I found it, and it was only about 50-60 quid on ASOS.
Let's have a chat after
this.
Yeah. But he's
fashion tips with the boys there.
But he looks every inch a £50 million player, and God, he's gonna have a little headache, Jurgen Klopp, as to what he does. Does he play his boys? Does he play the boys that have, you know, he's been, you know, tried and trusted over the next few, you know, the last few years, or whether he throws a bit of a wild card in Luis Diaz in the final, because at the moment he looks like he's on it and he's excited to be here.
2 more games coming up, isn't there? We've got Norwich at the weekend, Leeds midweek as well. So, you know, all the cup final, you know, places will be up for grabs in those games, and the players will all know it. So that should benefit us in terms of, you know, they'll all be pushing hard to secure that place by playing well, hopefully. Someone says, that Scouser again says, Craig looks like he works in Butlam's Adventure Park.
That's a new one. Someone said Obi-Wan. No, who was it?
Han Solo.
Han Solo of Star Wars. Don't watch Star Wars, you nerds.
It's good. Get on it. Barry McGuigan, not the boxer, says flaming hot Watsits, the absolute business. Yeah,
I had them last night.
Did you?
My mate brought them over. Flaming hot Watsits. They weren't for me. They're like crack. You can't stop eating them. So, you know, they were enough for me that I smashed nearly the whole bag.
Did you smash the bag and pour?
No, it didn't.
Did you eat them properly?
I had someone over. I can't be doing that. Like,
I mean, you've done that on camera, haven't you?
I mean, no grass is here, Gareth. But you know, like I can't have someone bring crisps over to my house and put them in and me go, here, not in my house. Can't do that, can you?
Have you got any other sound effects for other players? Steve's asking.
Well, who like?
Have you got anything for Van Dijk or Thiago or Salah?
Well, Thiago's just like a shh. Everything he does is like shh, shh. Everything's gorgeous. Everything's just like, you know, it's lovely. Van Dijk's too cool to have on, I think.
Steve's suggesting oomph.
I've got one for Fabinho. Bosh. And everything's just fucking bosh.
And for Thiago.
I just think he's everything he does is just easy.
Every little thing he does is magic.
Anyone tunes in now, they're going to think.
I know we're chatting shit now, aren't we? So we should probably go. Not everything is like this on the Anfield Wrap. Some of it's good. So do check it out. Do check it out by downloading the app and having a mooch and seeing what you think. Check out the website as well, the shop, in terms of t-shirts there. Get your cup final t-shirts. Get your cup. No, we haven't got that. No one printed anymore. Yeah, that's been Talking Reds. That'll do us for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep eating crisps. Up the Reds.